Jana Duggar, who plays Jana Duggar on Counting On, disclosed about a few months after her 30th birthday that she is looking for that special someone and longs to be married. Jana Duggar considers herself to be under pressure to be married because she is the eldest daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar and the only adult child of the Duggars who is not married. Despite the fact that Jana has been courted by a number of guys in the past, she has never disclosed their identity because they were unsuccessful in their relationship. In spite of this, she stated in the teaser for the 11th season of Counting On that she is open to dating and that she wouldn't mind what happened. In an interview with Us Weekly, the co-author of Growing Up Duggar, It's All About Relationships, stated that she is not attempting to be worried about the fact that she is 30 years old and single, but that she does long to be married. She went on to say, "I believe that will happen at some point in the future, but I also believe that. In addition to that, I'm just trying to keep myself occupied with anything comes my way." Due to the fact that all of her older sisters, including Joanna, who is 22 years old, Jinger, who is 26 years old, Jessa, who is 27 years old, and Jill, who is 29 years old, are married, the reality star of TLC feels a little more pressure to find a husband. Despite this, she is making every effort to avoid dwelling on the issue because, in her opinion, doing so can only make things significantly worse. Despite the fact that Jana is looking for a husband, she is looking for a partner with whom she may experience the same type of love that her parents have for her. The patriarch and matriarch of the Duggar family have been married for more than 35 years and have 19 children together, but, according to Jana, their connection is still as strong as it was when they first got married. With regard to Jim Bob and Michelle, she shared the following with the media outlet. "They are quick to forgive and to really try to make things right. This young love that they still have for one another, and they still have it, today. The genuine love that they still have for one another. It's not often that you come across couples of their age who have been married for such a long time, in my opinion." It was on an episode of Counting On that aired in October 2019 that Jana provided a little bit more insight into her beliefs regarding dating and romance. "My siblings have been in relationships, courtships, whatever you want to label it as," the 30-year-old spoke at the time. "They have been in relationships. It is perfectly acceptable for it to not always end in marriage," the speaker said. "It is necessary to have conversations with people, to get to know them, and to come to the realization that it is not necessary for the relationship to end in marriage." In the promotional video for the 11th season of Counting On, which will make its debut on TLC on July 7 at 8 o'clock, Jana stated that it can be tiring everyone asking about her relationship status. However, when she was questioned if she has a boyfriend, she became a bit uncomfortable. In March, she visited Lawson Bates, who is known for his role in the television show Bringing Up Bates, which fueled dating rumors that she was courting him. After watching a video of the two of them together, many began to believe that they were in a relationship. She said, "No, we're not a thing," when she was directly questioned by one of them if they were on a romantic relationship. Jana Duggar, at the age of 30, finds herself in a unique position within the Duggar family. The eldest daughter in the famous family known for their reality show 19 Kids and Counting, later Counting On, Jana's story is one of contrast, challenge, and self-reflection. Her sisters, many of whom wed young and began having children almost immediately, have followed a traditional path set by the Duggar family's values steeped in strict religious beliefs, a commitment to family, and a highly structured lifestyle. In an environment where early marriages and large families are celebrated, Jana Duggar remains single. As the years have passed, the pressure to conform to this ideal has built, making Jana's situation more difficult and leaving her feeling increasingly isolated. While her sisters have made names for themselves as wives and mothers, Jana's identity remains tied to being the ever-reliable older sister, one who assists with the care of younger siblings, but whose own personal desires often take a backseat to family expectations. Growing Up Duggar, the pressure of perfection. The Duggar family's story is one of public scrutiny and intense attention. From a young age, the Duggar children were raised with strict Christian values, emphasizing modesty, purity, and a clear expectation that their roles as women were defined by marriage and motherhood. The family's famous courtship model, where relationships are carefully supervised and often lead to engagements rather than dating, further underscored the belief that a woman's primary purpose was to marry and bear children. Jana Duggar was no exception to these teachings. Growing up, she was often seen as the responsible one, taking care of her siblings and becoming the family's unofficial caregiver. While the Duggar parents, Jim, Bob, and Michelle, emphasized the importance of homeschooling, faith, and community service, the family dynamics consistently reinforced the idea that women should prioritize family life above all else. The Duggar family's public image emphasized traditional gender roles. The women were expected to support their husbands, manage households, and care for their children, while the men were tasked with leadership, financial provision, and protection. Within this framework, the idea of a woman being single past a certain age was unusual. Being unmarried as a woman in the Duggar family meant that something was amiss. And for Jana, this reality has shaped much of her adult life. A sisterhood of early marriages, Jana Duggar's sisters, many of whom married young, seem to have embraced the Duggar family's vision of womanhood wholeheartedly. From Jill Duggar, who married at 19, to Jinger Duggar, who wed at 22, the Duggar daughters have fulfilled the family's expectations in terms of early marriage. These relationships were often celebrated in the public eye, both on the family's reality shows and in the media. In stark contrast, Jana Duggar's single status has been a point of curiosity and speculation. The pressure to marry early became palpable as Jana watched her younger sisters find love, marry, and start families of their own. For Jana, the idea of marriage has always been something she longed for, but this longing was complicated by the expectations that she should not only seek out a husband, but also follow the exact path that her sisters did. Over time, she began to feel as though her own desires and personal aspirations were secondary to the need to fulfill the Duggar family's blueprint for a woman's life. In interviews, Jana has expressed that, despite her longing to be married, she often feels as if she's running out of time. The societal pressure to marry at a young age was deeply ingrained in her upbringing, and as each year passed, the sense of urgency grew. Her loneliness deepened as she watched her sisters embrace their roles as wives and mothers, while she remained at home, caring for younger siblings and managing household responsibilities. The struggles of being the oldest daughter in a large family comes with a particular set of expectations. In the Duggar family, it meant that Jana's role was one of perpetual selflessness. She was the helper, the caretaker, the one who always put others first. She supported her parents by taking on responsibilities that might have been given to hired help in other families. Jana's life, it seemed, was one of unacknowledged sacrifice, always in the background, always supporting others, but never fully allowed to prioritize her own needs. Her sisters' marriages only amplified these feelings. When someone marries young, it can often lead to a sense of loss for the people who remain behind. For Jana, her siblings' marriages not only signified the beginning of their own personal journeys, but they also marked the increasing distance between her own desires and the life she felt she should have been leading. There were no clear answers for why she had yet to marry, only a deep sense of shame and confusion. For Jana, it was never about rejecting marriage. Instead, it was about balancing her desire for partnership with the family's insistence on the right way to go about finding love. In the Duggar family, courtship and marriage are considered sacred and should be pursued in a particular order. This idea of romance was deeply rooted in the belief that one should marry when ready, when they have found the right person, and when God has led them to that individual. Yet for Jana, her unmet desire for marriage was colored by this notion of divine timing and personal readiness. The pressure of being publicly single, Jana Duggar's situation is further complicated by the fact that her life is under constant public scrutiny. While many individuals feel pressure from family, friends, and society to find a partner, Jana's experiences are magnified by the attention her family's reality shows attracted. Fans and critics alike have weighed in on her single status, questioning why the eldest Duggar daughter is still not married. This public spotlight only adds to the pressure Jana feels and makes her feel as though her life is somehow incomplete. This external pressure manifests in many ways. From tabloid headlines to online comments, the public's interest in Jana's personal life often veers into invasive territory. The focus on her relationship status, or lack thereof, becomes an ever-present reminder that her worth is somehow tied to her ability to fulfill the traditional family role of wife and mother. For someone as private as Jana, this constant attention is hard to navigate. The expectations surrounding her life can create a sense of personal failure and public humiliation, reinforcing her sadness and the feeling that she is not enough. The challenges of finding a partner. While Jana Duggar's desire for marriage has been well documented, her journey to find a suitable partner has not been as straightforward as many might expect. The Duggar family's strict values and courtship system significantly limit the pool of potential suitors. For Jana, it has meant navigating a complex world of courtship where many of her peers married early, leaving fewer options available. Additionally, her position as a public figure complicates the process of meeting someone who is both compatible with her and willing to live under the scrutiny of the Duggar family's media presence. Many of Jana's fans have wondered why she has not found love yet, but they may not fully appreciate the unique set of challenges she faces. For someone who has been raised in such a strict environment, the process of finding a partner is not simply about compatibility and chemistry. It also involves ensuring that the relationship aligns with her faith and the expectations of her family. This makes the search for love much more challenging, as the traditional process of dating is replaced by the courtship model, which can feel restrictive and filled with pressure. The process of courtship, which involves both families being involved in the relationship from the start, can lead to feelings of isolation. If things do not work out, the emotional consequences are not just personal, they affect entire families. And in the case of someone like Jana, whose life is lived under public observation, this kind of relationship dynamic becomes even more complex. Jana's future, finding happiness beyond marriage. As Jana Duggar reaches her 30s, she is at a crossroads. While marriage may still be something she hopes for, she is also learning to find fulfillment in other areas of her life. Jana has taken on several projects outside of her role as a caretaker for her siblings, including pursuing business ventures and social media platforms that allow her to express herself more independently. While these pursuits may not erase the pain of loneliness, they offer her an opportunity to grow beyond the role that has been assigned to her within the Duggar family. In recent years, Jana has become more open about her journey, using her platform to share her thoughts on faith, family, and personal growth. While marriage remains a significant part of her life's journey, she has started to embrace the idea that happiness does not necessarily require a partner. Through her work, personal development, and self-reflection, Jana has come to recognize that her worth is not defined by her relationship status. For many, this is a liberating realization. Still, the sadness of not meeting the expectations of family, society, and her fans lingers. As Jana Duggar continues her journey, she will undoubtedly continue to wrestle with the tension between the longing for companionship and the pressures to live up to the Duggar family ideal. In the end, her story serves as a reminder that the search for happiness is deeply personal, and that fulfillment comes in many forms, some of which may not align with the path others expect for us.